It's exactly 7 p.m. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the 7 p.m. news on Info at Television. To begin this newscast, first, our top stories. As the world marks the International Day of Persons with Disabilities this December 3rd, 2025, emphasis are focused on the everyday barriers millions continue to face. Plus, the Court of Appeal in Yaoundé has proclaimed the official results of the Central Region's 30th November elections during a ceremony held on December 3rd, 2025. Those were main points. Now the news in further details. Welcome back. Innovation for inclusion, building inclusive communities together was the theme chosen for the commemoration of the 34th International Day of Persons with Disabilities, celebrated this Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. The Yaoundé Military Headquarters Brigade served as the sitting for this event, presided over by the Minister of Social Affairs in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, Tv Cameroun, as well as administrative, political, and civil authorities. Details in this report. The arrival of the Minister of Social Affairs, Pauline Irene, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, Tv Cameroun, here at the military headquarters in Yaoundé kickstart the commemoration of the 34th edition of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The objective of the ceremony was clear: to re-event, to change mentalities and the way people living with disabilities are viewed.
In his inauguration speech on November 6, 2025, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, pledged to guarantee better living conditions and improved access to basic social services for all sections of the population, including persons with disabilities, in the following terms, and I quote: "Anxious to provide appropriate responses to the concern of the population, we will ensure during this 7-year term that we accelerate the completion of projects currently underway in various strategic sectors such as hydropower, road infrastructure, and public end."
For this edition celebrated this Wednesday, the chosen theme was Innovation for Inclusion, building inclusive communities together, a thought-provoking theme highlighting the necessity to break down physical and social barriers and a durably transform mindsets. The activities were varied and showcased the abilities of persons with disabilities: running, tug of war, grenade throwing, arm wrestling, among others. Artistic performances also leavened up the ceremony. Dance groups representing the 4 cultural areas of Cameroon, as well as a collective of comedians, entertained the audience. Able-bodied and disabled athletes in high spirit took part in various competitions and proudly defend the structures represented in a spirit of fair play and cohesion. At the end of the event, certificates, medals, trophies, and encouragement envelopes were awarded to them. The Minister of Social Affairs, while congratulating them, exhorted all to break down barriers, abolish prejudice, and refuse stigmatization. As the world marks the International Day of Persons with Disabilities this December 3rd, 2025, emphases are focused on everyday barriers millions continue to face. Our reporter Jessica Ndiwume explored the experiences of persons with disabilities and uncovered stories of creativity and courage that powerfully remind us that this ability is not inability. Her report.
Across the globe, millions of people with disabilities still face daily challenges, barriers that limit access, opportunities, and inclusion. This year's International Day of Persons with Disabilities urges societies to work together to create fairer, more inclusive communities under the theme, "We all need to work together to make society fairer and respect the rights of people with disabilities." These daily challenges remain a heavy reality for many.
When you are walking in the street, you see somebody who just stand. She'll be looking at you. She'll be looking at you like it seems that you are somebody that you don't even supposed to live. But there are someone that they don't behave that way. They just like come closer to you. Those who are sitting on the wheelchair, really have very, very difficult. As I say, to go out is difficult. It's another situation. And when you succeed to go out, you need to take a taxi maybe to go to where you are going. It's another problem.
For her, disability is not a setback. It is fuel for innovation.
All my neighbors, they are with me. Yeah, they are taking me very normal like them. And they are respecting me. So, for the others, I cannot really say. But what I know, that is something general. It's like people, there are majority of people who is not really like considering disabled people like them.
But within the challenges lie countless acts of courage and resilience that redefine what is possible.
Anything that is concerning government, but apart from government, we don't have any other, anything that is not concerning government, we don't have any advantage. Like I will take for example, like if I'm traveling, which that bus is a bus of government, the transport bus is government owned, I will not pay some amount of money. It means that I'll pay only some amount. I'll not pay like somebody which is normal can pay, because people are not like respecting our rights that the government has given us. They are not respecting it. Yeah, because when you go to the hospital, like me, if I go to the hospital now, you see, they'll want me to pay the normal money that anybody can pay, which is not supposed to be like that.
As the world recognizes this day, their story serves as a reminder that disability is not inability. It is a call for society to do better, include more, and see the remarkable potential that lies beyond the barriers.
At UNESCO's World Features Day, which took place on December 2nd, 2025, international experts converged to explore the intersection of technology and policy, driving innovation and collaboration for a better tomorrow. Present at the occasion was Claude Abanda, resident representative of Tv Cameroun and holder of the UNESCO chair for Central Africa. As you tell us once again, Jessica Ndiwum.
The UNESCO headquarters in Paris witnessed a memorable day on December 2nd, 2025, bringing together great minds to celebrate a historic decision. During the UNESCO General Conference, the organization unanimously adopted December 2nd as World Futures Day. This special day is dedicated to reflecting on our shared futures in the age of artificial intelligence, alongside numerous UNESCO chairholders around the world. Present at the occasion were Karl El Enani, the newly appointed Director General of UNESCO, Claude Abanda, the resident representative of the African Institute of Computer Science IAI Cameroun, and holder of the UNESCO Chair for Central Africa, as well as Professor Kwame Sylvester Kwasi, Chairholder in Foresight and Anticipation. World Futures Day highlights UNESCO's intersectoral and multidisciplinary approach to addressing key contemporary challenges through foresight and anticipation. It also aims to illustrate the practical application of foresight in shaping public policies to navigate an era of volatility. The event also drew on the interdisciplinary network of more than 1,100 UNESCO academic chairs, including 35 UNESCO chairs in the 4 site studies worldwide, which act as outposts for identifying and exploring emerging and future issues in their various fields of expertise. World Futures Day will also serve as an occasion to announce the creation of the Global Coalition for Foresight Policies, led by UNESCO's MOST program. Serving as a global platform, the coalition will foster knowledge exchange and peer learning by bringing together government representatives and experienced foresight experts. The objective is to share lessons learned and best practices, promote foresight and anticipation capacities in member states, and advance forward-looking, equity-oriented policy solutions for social transformation.
And as you heard in one of our top stories, the Court of Appeal in Yaoundé has proclaimed the official result of the Central Region's 30th November elections. This is during a ceremony held this December 3rd, 2025. Details in this report. The composition of the newly elected Regional Council for the Central Region was formally ratified at the Court of Appeal in Yaoundé this Wednesday midday. The official proclamation ceremony held under judicial oversight marked the conclusive step in validating the results of the November 30th regional elections. The judicial proclamation confirmed the electoral landscape reviewed across the region's departments. The council.
Liste Ndio, Jean-Baptiste, suffrage 110, pourcentage 61,80. Liste déclarée élue, c'est la liste Ndio, Jean-Baptiste, avec la majorité absolue à 61,80%.
Constituted by divisional delegates and representatives of the traditional command structures, will be dominated by a strong majority of militants from the ruling CPDM party. This judicial confirmation solidifies the decisive victory secured by the party of the ardent flames in the region. With the result now legally certified by the court, the transition to governance begins. The newly validated regional delegate for the center, Gilbert Timi Evuna, addressed the immediate path forward following the judicial proclamation. Upon taking command today, he says his team are looking ahead. They intend to begin this new mandate by tackling several pressing projects essential for the development of the region, as the newly installed councillors await formal directives from the national hierarchy to begin implementation. The ceremony at the Yaoundé Court of Appeal was part of a coordinated national process similar. Judicial proclamations of regional elections results were conducted simultaneously in the chief towns across all 10 regions of Cameroon. The Senate on Tuesday closed its third ordinary session after approving the 2006 financial bill. Lawmakers wrapped up deliberations marked by scrutiny of government spending plan and renewed expectations, as we tell us Phillips Enchi.
After adopting the 2026 finance bill during its third ordinary session at the hemicycle of the Economic and Social Council building in Yaoundé, the Senate officially draws the curtains on its 2025 legislative year on December 2nd, 2025. The closing session was presided over by the first Vice President of the Senate, Aboubakari Abdullahi, representative of the Senate President Marcel Nyat Njifenji. This year's session offered lawmakers the opportunity to thoroughly examine the finance law and seek clarifications on how various ministerial departments intend to manage their allocated budgets in the year ahead. Senators expressed satisfaction with the explanations provided.
I was very satisfied. Our budget grew up about 1.5 billion CFA. So, and then for support entrepreneurship for women, they put a lot of money. So now we'll still wait and see what a program, what a organization for the budget. So from now, I think we just finished for the section, and I'm very satisfied.
La session a été une session.
The session was very rich. We adopted 6 projects, notably the 2026 Finance Law, the law on the organic production, the law on the ratification on air transport, the ratification of the investment ordinance, the law on the 2024 finance regulation. It was actually an intense session. To me, the Senate did a good job.
La Chambre a bien travaillé.
Expectations are high as senators look forward to improve execution of the 2026 budget, which has seen a 14% increase compared to the previous financial year.
Le travail n'est pas terminé.
We are not yet done with our duty. We permitted the government to have their working instrument, but what is expected now is the execution of the 2026 budget. The execution will be evaluated at the level of realization of projects included in the budget. We should note that this budget do have an objective that needs to be attained. When we look at the 14% increase as compared to the previous year, you will bear with me that the budget has an objective and must have a follow-up.
C'est un budget suffisamment ambitieux.
The 2026 Finance Law, which aligns with President Paul Biya's vision of empowering women, girls and the youth, is expected to be fully implemented in the months ahead.
The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fotso, has marked the 40th International Volunteer Day with a high-level gathering in Yaoundé. The event was presided over by his representative, Dr. Eric Akende Mutege, on December 2nd, 2025. The event focused on strengthening Cameroon's volunteer ecosystem and raising awareness on the role of volunteerism in national development. As you tell us, Jessica Ndiwum.
The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monuna Fotso, has placed volunteerism at the center of national development efforts. The celebration brought together institutional actors, civil society partners, and youth leaders for a high-level session aimed at strengthening the country's volunteer ecosystem. Representing Minister Monuna Fotso, Dr. Eric Akade Metugi presided over the event at the National Training of Trainers and Development Center on December 2nd, 2025 in Yaoundé, under the theme, Every Contribution Counts. He further highlighted the need for stronger structures to support volunteer engagement, especially among young people, and called for increased collaboration between institutions to maximize the social impact of volunteer initiatives.
La dite stratégie exhorte de promouvoir un volontariat inclusif à travers la mobilisation, la participation citoyenne et la valorisation des compétences de toutes les couches sociales.
The voluntary sector's potential is underutilized due to limited visibility and low engagement by communities, organizations, and institutions, highlighting the need to raise awareness among sectoral administrations to fully harness its benefits. This strategy aims to promote inclusive volunteerism by mobilizing citizens, recognizing the skills of all social groups, and fostering national integration and social cohesion. The purpose of this session is to strengthen volunteer work within public administrations and capitalize on it as a tool for development. We also aim to showcase the various ways volunteering can be expressed and explore opportunities for its integration across different sectors.
Il s'agit spécifiquement de vulgariser les multiples cadres d'expression du volontariat, d'identifier les possibilités d'intégration dans les politiques de stratégie sectorielle.
Highlighting the gaps in Cameroon's volunteer ecosystem, officials stressed it's not only an important initiative but also a crucial step towards charting a more effective and sustainable way forward.
We have observed during the past years that the aspect of volunteerism is a notion whereby so many persons are ignorant about it. It's an aspect whereby Cameroonians in particular look at it as it's a phenomenon that many persons neglect and which has to be taken into account, given that we all are called upon to showcase, to bring our input, our know-how in the aspect of volunteerism, assisting the community that we come from. Not only the community, but wherever we find ourselves, there is always a need for our services.
Stakeholders also participated in an awareness session designed to reinforce the culture of volunteerism as a tool for civic responsibility and community development. According to organizers, investing in volunteer programs remains key to empowering youths and driving sustainable national growth.
There is a law that has been put in place guiding activities of volunteerism. But most Cameroonians are ignorant of the law, that there's a law that even exists, that can even help young people to be able to take legal contracts. Because by using the law, you put yourself into a legal contract that whereby you are rendering some services and you can be giving some stipends as per what the law has provided. We thought it wise that we should be able to propagate the know-how by calling upon the various ministerial departments for this very first session of this year, 2025, that they should come together and we should be able to exchange with them by giving them the importance of the aspect of taking into account volunteerism when they're doing their budgeting sessions.
Officials underscored that reinforcing Cameroon's volunteer culture will require continued collaboration, stronger support systems, and sustained investment in young people. They emphasized that identifying existing gaps is essential to shaping a more efficient, inclusive, sustainable volunteer framework.
Desperate for a better life, many Cameroonians are falling prey to visa scams, with travel agencies vanishing with their money and dreams. The consequences are devastating, leaving victims financially drained and emotionally scared. As you tell us, Mimi Tiobo.
There is a growing and deeply troubling trend in Cameroon. Traveling agencies promising visas to hopeful migrants are instead disappearing with their clients' money. Many Cameroonians who dream of finding better opportunities abroad are falling victim to this wave of fraud, and the consequences are both financial and emotional. Recent cases show how serious the situation has become. In one major case is a victim whose identity can't be disclosed expressed her frustration when she was scammed. Talking with an expert on immigration, he emphasized on the ways on getting a valid visa. Honestly, it is a situation that disturbs a lot. The immigration sector has become something else. Everybody enter and want to be in immigration. What have come to my notice is that I, for one, as a director of this agency, every time that a client enter, I take my time to tell him the consultation procedure on time to realize his immigration. He esteemed that we just have to tell him how much it costs to go to Canada. That's where I usually tell them that it is bad agency that will give you an amount without consulting you.
Sans toutefois te consulter.
Some travel agencies in Cameroon are exploiting hopeful migrants with false visa promises, leading to financial loss and emotional distress.
Away from that, in a Cameroon celebrated for its unity in diversity, the concept of national unity remains a fundamental pillar deeply cherished by the government and citizens. Officially enshrined in the country's motto, Peace, Work, Fatherland. Details in this report.
The tangible beauty of this unity is woven into the daily fabric of Cameroonian life. It is witnessed in the bustling markets, local dialects, in the vibrant music scenes that draw from every corner of the country, and in the shared pride for national achievements.
So I think national unity is an important concept and which has to be encouraged and promoted. We preach national unity wherever we go, present in all his species talk of.
This harmonious coexistence of over 250 ethnic groups is a testament to the resilient national spirit that has historically overcome divisions. It is a hard-won asset, forged in the fires of the nation's complex history of reunification and nation building, and one that continues to be source of strength and identity for its people.
We, the citizens, 30 million Cameroonians, should see in this occasion as an opportunity to come together, work together, look at each other as one, in peace, in unity, and especially in respect of the values, the laws, and the institutions of the Republic.
However, this cherished unity cannot be taken for granted. It faces tests from the ongoing socio-political challenges.
Despite the tension that has been going on here and there, with a handful of people who are mounting resistance, we can still be very confident that Cameroonians love their country, and tomorrow we will all be at the National Assembly to celebrate the oath taking as one and indivisible Cameroon.
These difficulties underscore that unity is not a static achievement, but a continuous process, a garden that requires constant nurturing.
So this occasion is supposed to strengthen our unity. This occasion is supposed to strengthen our peace. And this occasion is supposed to make us, remind us of our duty, civic duty, to respect the values of the Republic, to respect the institutions of the Republic, to respect the laws, because that is the only way we can move forward.
Therefore, the call to preserve this unifying spirit is more pressing than ever. It is a call for every citizen to actively champion peace in their communities.
The message I can give to the Cameroonians is that President Paul Biya is the father of the nation. And I think with the situation that we are going through, I know that the father is the father of all, and he's going to do many things. Many have been done, and much is still yet to be done again. And I think that our father knows the cry of the children, and he's going to do more, as I've always been doing. So I think that with President Paul Biya, we are sure of national unity, we are sure of hope, we are sure of development and prosperity and progress in Cameroon.
Safeguarding this precious concept, the people not only honor a legacy dear to the nation's leadership, but more importantly, they secure a harmonious and prosperous future for generations of Cameroonians to come. The government has officially adopted the 2026 national budget, marking a 14% increase. Our reporter Jessica Ndewum spoke with an economist to unpack what the rise means for the economy, the tax base, and taxation. Our report.
The 2026 national budget shows a significant increase, reflecting the government's plan to invest more in key sectors, including health, education, infrastructure, and social development. According to an economist, a 14% rise in government spending can have several effects on the economy.
It signals the government's intent to use public spending to actively stimulate economic activities, moving beyond simple austerity measures. If you look detailing at this budget, a large portion of this increase is earmarked for the public investment budget, particularly in infrastructures, roads, energy, and productive sectors like agriculture, aligning for me with the National Development Strategy, which is already at its second phase. The first phase ran from 2020 to 2025, and the second phase is between 2026 to 2030. Crucially, it includes significantly new allocations, notably the 50 billion special funds dedicated to promoting youth and women economic empowerment programs, which are so important.
He further highlighted that the increase could affect taxation and the tax base if the government seeks to raise additional revenue.
An increase in revenue mobilization, which is very optimistic. The government projects high domestic revenue, primarily through stronger non-oil tax and custom collections. They are betting on administrative efficiency improvement and a modest projected economic growth rate of around 4.3 in 2026. Looking at the impact on the tax base and taxes, a larger budget necessitates a larger revenue base. It has a dual impact on taxation. The government's strategy is to increase revenue, not primarily by raising tax rates, but by broadening the tax base. This means intensifying the fight against fraud, tax evasions, and formally integrating segments of the large informal economy. This increases compliance amongst existing taxpayers and potentially brings new ones into the net.
The economist further notes that while higher spending can benefit the population, careful management is crucial to ensure fiscal sustainability and avoid inflationary pressures.
There is a need to finance major ongoing and new structural projects, including the Integrated Agro, Pastoral and Fishery Import Substitution Plan and the new funds for social empowerment necessitated a larger envelope. So the government is looking at how to increase a broader tax base. In the short term, this is highly stimulating. Increased public spending can boost aggregate demand, create jobs, especially through labor-intensive projects, as the budget has looked on investing on labor-intensive projects and support the projected GDP growth. But on the long term, sustainability hinges entirely on execution qualities and financing. If the investment spending, most especially on the public investment budget, is inefficiently managed, or if the projected domestic revenue fails to materialize, the government will be forced to rely heavily on borrowing. Cameroon already faces a high risk of debt distress, so relying on domestic and external loan to finance this large budget poses a significant long-term risk to fiscal stability.
With this budget, the government is signaling a strong commitment to social progress and economic development, but experts emphasize that monitoring implementation and efficiency will determine its ultimate impact.
Potential new revenue resources are needed. The budget itself anticipates new revenue by streamlining fiscal exemptions, reducing tax gift or expenditure, and improving the contribution of sectors currently deemed under tax, such as a certain digital activities and potentially a slightly higher personal income tax contribution from individuals. The 2026 budget is an ambitious, growth-oriented budget, and its success will, for me, be measured by the government's ability to efficiently transform the increased spending into productive assets while responsibly managing the associated debt risks. As Cameroon comes through the post-election violence, we hope that the fight against corruption should be very, very significant.
The 2026 budget is set, and its effects on the economy and taxes will become clear in the months ahead.
It is on that note that we come to the end of our newscast this evening. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned to other programs on Info Television. Hopefully, we shall be right back tomorrow for the same exercise. God bless Cameroon. Good night.